Right, in this problem, we're given the equation 3x plus y is equal to 0. And what we first want to do is write this in slope-intercept form. Once we have it in slope-intercept form, we will use the slope and the y-intercept to graph over here to the right. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept, and we'll be able to graph that once we write it in slope-intercept form. So the very first thing I'm going to do is solve this equation for y, or get y by itself. How I'm going to do that is just use the inverse operation of a positive 3x and show minus 3x. And remember, whatever you do to one side of the equation sign, if you think about them as left and right sides, you do to the other side. So these 3x's on the left-hand side will cancel out. So I'm going to have just y on the left-hand side, and then 0 minus 3x will just give me a negative 3x or minus 3x. So this is technically slope-intercept form. If you would like to, you could also write y is equal to negative 3x plus 0 if you wanted to show the true y-intercept. For this slope, my slope will be a negative 3 over 1. If you just wrote negative 3, that's fine. But when we get to graphing, knowing the rise over run will help you. So that's why we want to do it in a fraction form. And then the y-intercept is 0. So let's go ahead and start graphing. The very first thing we're going to do is graph the y-intercept, and that's at 0. And then from the y-intercept, I'm going to use my slope. Since it's a negative 3 over 1, that means I'm going to rise negative 3 and then run 1. So from my y-intercept at 0, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 1 to the right. You can continue showing this pattern, down 3, 1 to the right. If you wanted to do points on the left side of the y-intercept, you could just do that same pattern, just an opposite from what you just did. So instead of falling 3, I would rise 3. Instead of going to the right 1, I go left 1. Once you have your points, you can then connect them using a line as straight as possible, or you can just use a straight edge if you're doing this on paper.